Hey everyone, today we're going to make a block print using liquid glue to make our block. And I'm starting off with my drawing. I'm going to do a little trick here to transfer my drawing over to my piece of cardboard where I will be adding my glue. So in order to transfer my image, I'm putting some pencil on the back of my paper. And I want to get the back of this paper really covered with a lot of graphite. So as I go, looking for any white spots, and I'm going to come back in and add some more pencil there, get a nice layer of pencil over my entire back of the paper. Once I got the back of my paper completely covered with pencil, I'll flip that back over. I've got my piece of cardboard underneath. I'm going to hold my paper in place. I don't want it to move around while I'm tracing. And using a sharp pencil, I'm tracing right over the lines of my drawing. And as I trace, the pencil that I'm drawing with is pushing the graphite on the back of the paper onto the cardboard, transferring my image. And I'm doing this with a drawing that I've already made. You could absolutely print out an image from the computer and put some graphite on the back and trace over that as well, if you want to transfer a printed image. So when I take my paper away, I have my image transferred onto my piece of cardboard. It's a little bit light, and it's kind of hard to see in the camera right now, but um, I can see it pretty well when it's right in front of me. And any areas that are a little bit light, I'm just going to trace right over them and make sure I can see where my lines need to go so that I can add my liquid glue right over my lines. Time for me to add my liquid glue, squeezing it from the squirt bottle. And I'm going to go ahead and trace over all of my pencil lines with this liquid glue. And the more detailed that you go with your drawing and the smaller you make it, the harder it is to trace over with the liquid glue. And I'm going to find out pretty soon as I do mine that I'm going to lose a little bit of my detail because there's some areas that are kind of small and kind of detailed, and it's just hard to squeeze that liquid glue into all the small spots. So the bigger and simpler that you go with your initial design, the easier it is to cover it precisely with the liquid glue. So just going ahead and doing my best to trace over my pencil lines with this liquid glue. Yeah, for example, I'm about to do the eyes right now, and that little highlight that I put in the middle of the eyes, the glue sort of spreads out a little bit and covers that detail. So um, the bigger and simpler your initial design is, the easier time you'll have covering it with the glue. If you add any words to your block print, you will want to write them backwards. So you can see down here I'm adding some letters, and my letters are backwards, and the word that I'm writing is going backwards. So you want to do that because when you make your print, it's going to turn out as a mirror image. So you want your letters looking backwards on your block so that they turn out looking correct on your final prints. And finally, any areas of my design where there's a lot of black, I'm going to fill that in with a bunch of glue. So in the hair and in the shadow on the face, I'm filling that area in with a bunch of glue. And then before I go on to my next step, I'm going to wait for all of this glue to 100% dry. Don't want to be working with any wet glue while I try to make my prints.